What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we got to talk about Amber on the stand today. Now, I'm recording this. I like to look at my my clock every so often. We got maybe, like 2.5 hours left, so they're going to call the next witness. As I'm recording this, it's going to be a surprise to me because I don't know who it is yet. I will continue to watch, though, and be caught up. But I want to talk about just Amber, right? We got the cross-examination of her, and then we got the redirect, and holy Jesus Christ. Now, I mentioned this yesterday, and I do think it's valid. It's also, a little bit of biasness from us. I fully do believe that in terms of the cross was good. I thought the cross was extremely fine. I thought the ending, which we'll talk about the ending of it, was spectacular. There's really no better way to end the cross-examination of Amber, but it was spotty at times. There wasn't as much of a clean narrative. Again, there were things that me sitting in my house, not as a lawyer, right? You want Camille to nail her on, right? You want to say, okay, so you said, just very specifics where it's like, oh, you're clearly lying, right? When you can't really do that. Slash, it's also maybe not Camille's style to do something like that, right? She likes to, as we talked about yesterday, she likes to kind of say, oh, so you did this, and then you kind of like nail them back to back and let the jury, a big theme of yesterday and today is just simply having her say what she wants, having Amber say what she wants, and then kind of like showing the exact opposite. Not necessarily highlighting it crazy, right, to like really point out stuff, which you could argue she should. Maybe that's a mistake. But I like the idea that it's kind of up for the jury to be like, well, do you believe this person, this demon, or do you believe the evidence? A common theme today, which Amber got to yesterday, but a common theme today was believe me, don't believe anybody else. And much like, Nick Rekieta and a couple people on his stream were saying, I do also agree. I wish you could have nailed her on, oh, so you're saying this person is lying and this person is lying and this because that's now again, she did kind of do that because she said, oh, okay, so they're the ones who are lying and talk about the cop, the police officer, they're lying, right? Ben King, he's lying, right? All these people. And again, I think the general theme seeps into the jury where it's like, so basically, Amber, what you're saying is nothing is ever Amber's fault, okay? Now, it's so crazy to me because you do have to accept, like, in anything in life, like, you are partly responsible, okay? But for Amber, she's never responsible, right? If something happens, it's her lawyers. If something happens, if TMZ gets a thing leaked, well, it's not her. I mean, it came from her. She took the video, but it must have been like one of her legal team. Like she gave it to the legal team, and the legal team, they decided to give it to TMZ. I love, by the way, they nailed her on that. We'll talk about the ending of the cross, which was that in a second, but it's just this common theme that nobody is telling the truth. They are all liars, and you are the only one that's telling the truth. And those that, like your sister that'll back you up, or those that you told, in which case they're just hearing what you are saying. They're not hearing anything else, right? And we all knew this, but then hearing it on the stand again, over and over. Oh, so what they said, like, they said this under perjury, all this stuff, right? All like, if you are lying, yeah, I'm sure. And by the way, Amber's just lying, through her teeth throughout the entire thing. But there are penalties for doing it. So again, nailing her on. So these people, they're not supposed to be lying. There's some pretty severe penalties if they do lie. They all said the opposite, and they are all liars. And you are the one that's telling the truth. And you're not saying one of them lied. You're saying like 15 to 20 of them lied. Is that what you're saying, Amber? And again, she didn't say that specifically, and that's what, of course, you would like to hear, but I like the general theme. Now, the last two parts of the cross were the two biggest things, right? TMZ, which I can't believe, that it was almost a sense of unrealness, where it's like, oh my God, they actually did it. Did they get her to admit it? No, because of course she's gonna, play her game. But they got her. They got her on TMZ, right? They got her in the deposition, admitting accidentally. I mean, you could see in her face she did not mean to say that TMZ had it because they gave it to him. So you absolutely got her there. I mean, that was really, really good. Because again, it's like, well, TMZ, they own, and it's like, of course, Amber's not going to know this, but TMZ owns that video, right? When that video was played on YouTube on that day in trial, everybody who live streamed it, right? All the legal bites, Nick Rekieta, all these people, they all got claimed by TMZ. So TMZ didn't own the video. and yet they claimed it because they owned it. So either they are taking advantage of the YouTube copyright system, but they're doing it in their way because they own it, because that's theirs. And why is it theirs? That's because they either sold or they bought it, right? So she sold it, or she just outright gave it to them. So one of those two things had to have happened. And whether she did or didn't, or whether, because like it had to have been from her at some point. Whether she gave it to somebody and they gave it to TMZ, or it came directly from her, that's what happened. So you had that, and then of course you had the bomb, the dynamite drop, which they didn't get into the police report. I'm assuming that's because the judge has just flat out said, no, like this is not happening, but they got around the domestic abuse. What I find funny about the domestic abuse though, right, is, so she was arrested because she domestically abused her partner before Johnny Depp, which is great. I mean, again, it's hilarious, not in the way, and I like to make this known, time to time, I don't laugh, or I don't find that funny in a way where like it's funny to beat people. I find it funny in the hypocrisy of what Amber, this fairy tale that she's told, right? So I just kind of always want to make that clear. It's hilarious though. Like, to me, it's very funny when, I've never done that. Oh, you didn't do it because you got arrested for it, actually. And so that's kind of an issue, isn't it, Amber? And then she'll say, the best thing, it's like, she'll say that was a slander campaign from Johnny Depp's team. But you did that in 2009. That how could they have did they weaponize it to kind of claim, hey, she's always been a domestic abuser? Yeah, that is probably what they did, because it's true. She's always been the abuser, not the abused. And so yeah, that part's true, but did they make up the incident? They made up that the police officer arrested you. They made up that people saw it live because you did it at, I believe, an airport, right? They made that up? That's a slanderous thing? No, that was real. So it's like, what kind of argument? What kind of argument is that? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't, obviously we don't buy it. I don't think the jury buys it. We've heard many things actually over the past couple weeks, but specifically this week, people are paying very, very close attention to what the jury is doing, and it sounds horrible. The word on the street is today, and even yesterday, but also mainly today, is that they're looking at Camille. And now what from the lawyers say, that is horrible. As a witness, as Amber, you want people looking at you, not because Amber is the center of everybody's attention, which she is, but because that's how you want it. The jury should be looking at you. If they're looking at the opposing side's lawyer, that's not, and they could be looking at her for her looks. They could be looking at her because she's slaying Amber. I mean, you could look at her for whatever reason you want to, but it's a horrible. That is so bad. So I'm glad to hear that. I believe 4 of the 7 jurors were none of them I think have looked at her. And then I think the report is 4 of the 7 were looking directly at Camille. So I think they're in. You know what I mean? They're engrossed in Johnny's side immediately. So obviously we hope that these people aren't idiots and they can see through this stuff, because Amber just comes across so disingenuous, right? Again, it's always everybody else's fault. Everybody else is the liar. She tries to get snarky. And here's Johnny Depp had some very good back and forths with Roddenborn, but he comes across yes, I guess Roddenborn and Camille came across as, heavy attackers on the opposing side. But you have to do, as Camille, she cut his finger off. She ruined his life. She's a bad person. You don't get to you can't treat her as if she's some victim, right? You can't, although you should call her that, because obviously that upsets her quite a bit, right? Oh, by the way, the one time she almost snapped, she got very close to snapping today, is when Camille accused her and said Johnny Depp, got you the role in Aquaman, right? And she got so upset at that, because you got to take that kind of stuff away from her. Oh, that biggest role, the biggest role you've ever had in your life, right? Wasn't even you, was it, Amber? And then it's like, oh my God, killer stuff. So those are good digs. But again, just the way Amber presents herself and the snarky remarks, maybe it's because Johnny Depp comes across very likable immediately. So when he does snarky remarks, and you start to build a narrative in your head, which one do I side with? It's more okay, his snarky remarks, whereas Amber's just comes across it doesn't come across good. So I get both of them have done it in a way. I think she's done it in terms of I don't even know how you want it. Picking at her, picking at Camille, kind of acting like she knows everything more than Camille. I mean, Johnny Depp had the things were you there? Those are clever, small little things that you would think anybody would say. Amber's is more like, well, I'm going to school you. Hey, do you want to know how to use, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say it on YouTube, that drug, the line of drugs that you can snort. I don't think you're an expert at it, but I am. I mean, like, do you want me to school you on how to snort that stuff? And it's like, go ahead, Amber, teach us how to do it. I mean, I thought you're supposed to be like this person who doesn't do that, but I guess if you want to teach us all in court how it works, you be my guest. You're the one who said that you knew. So, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't come across good. It'd be like Johnny Depp saying, well, let me tell you how. It's so dumb. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on. Thank you so much, by the way. I don't say this enough. Thank you for the support. The support means so much. We're going to be live streaming on Friday as we do during these trials. Daily recaps, Wednesday, Thursday, and then we'll live stream Friday. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for supporting me. I hope to see you all on the next video.